Jordan, I know I mentioned the other day was going to get some work. We planned on him having a couple series. We went out first series. I think put together 12 play drive, extremely efficient. Did a wonderful job. Marching the ball down for a touchdown, and so we got him 12 plays. And, provided a great opportunity for other guys to continue to get work. I think Jordan's coming off, going back and watching Thursday's practice. Was really pleased with just all things that he's doing and playing at a high level. It's good today, just starting off to see him go out and play there. I guess again for 15, 16 plays. It has a couple situations there at the beginning, but I mean, he's getting better. And when your best players are improving, it's you're definitely exciting for what's ahead.
He's been so locked in, but what I would like to love about Joe is his preparation. Because you have to limit him some, but his preparation remains the same, and that's why he being able to perform like he performs. He's taking ownership in his own growth. As coaches, we want to push him forward, but I believe he has an expectation for himself. It's so high that he's trying to reach that expectation, which is keeping him focused and keeping him locked in. You're watching his decision making, his control of the offense, his ownership. And of course, he still has things he wants to work on. And, you'll tell him these things, he'll tell you the opposite. So he's just taking that ownership into his own hands and really taking responsibility for the offense. And he knows it. He's operating at a high level. I just want to go back and say again, his preparation. Because a lot of times you get worried when you limit a guy. Is he locked in? Is he still want to take the reps as he's taking them? And he does that at a high level, which is when he does get the reps, he's performing at a high level.
He has been dominant in practice, and he is. I really believe that. It's just the reps. It's the time. It's the time in the meeting room. It's the confidence in what he's being asked to do, and just how he's applying that. I mean, he's a talented individual. I mean, strong. Might be one of the strongest human beings we have on this team. I mean, just hand strength, power, punch. He had. He's got great movements. I mean, he's a fun player to watch and coach. And I'm telling you, like I say with full confidence, he is just scratching the surface.
It's funny, I'm having some of those guys over the house tomorrow, and on my phone it popped up when Josh and Pat and Shaheem got here for the first time. They came over the house, at the pool, and I have this picture of those three guys. I guess that was 3 years ago, and just the difference they look like now. Especially you see it in Josh. I mean, he just gotten his shoulders, and you guys see it too. You've been here, and now to see that catch up with him playing football, so he's gotten bigger, stronger, more powerful, but the technique is now coming along, which allows him to use all that. And his confidence level is getting better. From that first Louisville game this year to the end of the year, he made strides. I would say he's made as many strides from the end of the bowl game to now. So he's kind of doubled up on his improvement. There's no ceiling on where it's got to go. It's just got to be everyday improvement from him. But we're seeing the fundamentals and the trust in Odell, and I like the direction that he's headed.
Coach, seems like Akeem and Shaheem are two guys that play with a lot of confidence. They both look like they're physically well put together. What sort of things are you hoping to get out of them here in the next, 7 sort of practices for a next step? And is Quindarius at a point where, as a true freshman, you feel comfortable maybe putting more on his plate at this part of the spring?
Well, Akeem and Shai, they've played a lot of snaps here, and so that's got to show up. It's got to show up and playing with a little bit more anticipation. We've got to make more ball plays back there, and when the ball's in the air, we've got to make sure that ball ends up in our hands. We can be better at that spot at this point in the spring. I think the safety with moving Duke there, I think it's added a group that I'm excited to work with. But we need more production at safety at this point in the spring. That's got to happen. Run game, pass game, leadership, and the communication. And I don't question that it will, but it needs to happen like now. Quindarius, I would say he's as far along as, some of the freshman corners that we brought in. They're all a little bit different. Physically, he's as skilled as anybody we brought in from a standpoint of be able to play Division I football. Size, speed, he's got competitiveness to him. He's pretty comfortable around the ball. I think, I had a meeting with him last week of, he's done some really good things. I've seen him progress. I'm seeing the coaching. I watched Coach Sertan's drill tape, and then I watched the team reps, and you're seeing those things applied. So that usually will help a player get better. I just sat down with Quinn last week and said, this race to the end of spring is critical for you to be able to gain that momentum to bring into the summer so that these fall camp reps will count from a standpoint of actual football reps for, this fall. I'd like him to be able to help us, with some depth, and, all signs point that that's going to happen, but, there's still ways to go with these early enrollees.
Kentron, I think, is a perfect example of how Coach Norvell builds the culture of this program. He has improved every year, like, dramatically, in terms of how he's performed on all of the special teams phases. And I don't think it's a coincidence that you also see his production and his play at wideout kind of improving at the same pace. And it's not necessarily because I just think it's the way he's invested in everything. I think I think a reflection of it is how he does in the special teams. But you see him in every part of his game just growing and getting better. And I think that, from Coach Fuller's answer, Tron is a great candidate to say, who's the guy that gives you a lot of trouble, because he always seems to show up.
Fuller said Tron a problem. Yeah, Tron has Tron has been here since the beginning, and he's earned his way. He's kind of like the unnamed soldier that we have, because he is the true development. We talk about development, we talk about Jordan and things like that. Tron is that on the outside of the receiver. Talk about the guys we brought in, and Tron has been here. Now he's developed himself into being a real weapon, and it's exciting to see him and Darian. So, you have those guys you bring in, but you also got those kind of homegrown guys that put the time in the weight room and really developing themselves and developing their skill set. Tron is the example of that. And now you're starting to hear his name more from the Gallup boys. And he's worked his way into that. So that's that true development we talk about that, go through those young players that have been, sitting here since the beginning.